Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back to Cleveland, everybody, where today this reshuffled Carolina defense gets its first test after letting two assistants go earlier this week. Again, head coach Ron Rivera calling the defensive plays instead of defensive coordinator Eric Washington. But you can't expect these two to be joined at the hip. Washington's still in charge of the pass rush and run defense, plus he's got to help Rivera with things like clock management and challenge flags. Now, they have worked together for 7 years, so Rivera tells me he hopes this transition will be smooth and seamless. Dick Rivera's been thinking about this change for a little while now, so he's hoping that by joining forces and being more involved with Washington, they can get this defense back to its glory days and salvage the season.
All right, Jen, but it comes at a tough time with this team having lost 4 in a row, and of course Ron Rivera's teams have won at the end of the year. He's known for that. Back in 2014, they won their last 4, ended up winning the division. The Browns won the toss, they defer, and so the Panthers get the ball first. And this kick is returnable. Kenyon Barner from the 4-yard line. And Barner, there's a missed tackle, and he gets good yardage and a good kick as Greg Joseph, the kickoff man, knocked him out of bounds. So Cam Newton coming on, and of course he's 1 yard away. Guys, I think he's going to make it to become the second quarterback in NFL history for 3,000 plus for the first 8 years, but coming off a 4-interception game against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, always difficult anytime, you force the ball. He has that shoulder injury that he's dealing with, Chris, and that's been an issue for him from a treatment standpoint and a rep standpoint during the course of practice.
Starting from the 35, and in motion, you see Curtis Samuel out to the right, handoff to Christian McCaffrey. And, of course, we're going to be mentioning his name a lot today. Panthers offense, that hasn't been the problem for Carolina. It's been their defense. Offense has been pretty good.
Offense has been great. It starts with Cam Newton. McCaffrey, one of the rare skill guys you can see, can run between the tackles and also out of the backfield. Dick, we believe he's going to be the next 1,000 guy. Hadn't happened in the NFL since 1999, Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, only 2 other guys who have been able to do it. Roger Craig from the 49ers, 2nd down and 5. Boy, he's on the field the whole game on 2nd and 5. And here's the pass downfield, and it's going to be caught at the 35-yard line by Samuel, who went in motion on that first play. So Curtis Samuel in a big 25-yard play.
Well, he's coming out of the slot on this side right here. They got a 3-receiver stacked set. He just runs the deep over right there. Look at him fight for the ball right there. That's interference by T.J. Carey, but he concentrates on the ball, brings it in there. Nice reception by Samuel.
Career best 6 catches last week in the losing effort against the Bucs, and a first down on the Browns 35. Hand off to McCaffrey, and he's going to be tackled from behind after a 2-yard gain by Myles Garrett. And taking a look at the Browns defense, 28th against the run. What's kept them in business has been the fact of the takeaways, 2nd in the league in that department.
And Myles Garrett's one of the reasons. Him off the edge. You want to talk about a guy that reads the snap count. He's got this innate ability to jump the snap count, get pressure, and also Terrence Mitchell, starting cornerback, is back after 8 weeks on the IR.
T.J. Carey, the other corner, Philip Gaines out of action today, and there's the pressure. And on the screen pass again, it's McCaffrey, and McCaffrey will be shy of the first down by about 4 yards as Jamie Collins, the strong side backer, pushed him out of bounds after a pickup of 4.
You can see if Cam Newton, once they try to edge into the red zone here, see if they can try to generate big plays. They know they're going to get a lot of man coverage by the Browns. Believe they can take advantage of it with their wide receiver matchups.
It'll be 3rd down and 4. Pressure on Newton, and the pass is caught right at the line, and they may have the first down. Ian Thomas, who now has to handle the receiving role at tight end with Greg Olsen out of action for the rest of the year. And it is a first down after the gain of 4. Olsen, of course, 2nd season ending with a foot injury. They'll miss him.
The coaching staff, they really do like him. He's got to be more of a threat down the field like Olsen. It's hard to replace a guy who's been so dependable as Olsen, not only as a receiver, but at the end of the line blocker.
First down. Panthers on the 25. And play is whistled dead, and there's a false start call against Carolina.
False start, number 12, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on the receiver, DJ Moore. Walt Anderson, the referee.
You always hate it when you're in that snap count. You're looking at blitz, and Cam Newton has so much responsibility at line of scrimmage to get them in. He moves Christian McCaffrey over. It's taking some time. You're a wide receiver, Chris. You want to go out there and catch a football, man. You got a little amped up.
Yeah, I'm jumping on Cam's voice. That second hut got DJ Moore to get out of there.
So it's now 1st and 15. Back to the 30, and the pitch to McCaffrey. Got a blocker in front, but he couldn't get far in front, and McCaffrey gets more out of it than he figured, and Jamie Collins missed the tackle, and no gain on the play.
Well, when you come down here and you're going to crack on this, you've got to get into the line of scrimmage so your tackle can get cleared. You'll see it. He gets bumped, and he gets pushed into McCaffrey right there, and you cannot get up the football field. It totally disrupts the play.
The reason why you run a motion like that is so you take something off Myles Garrett as a rusher. If you do that enough early in the game, it might slow him down and give Cam a little extra time.
2nd and 15 now, back on the 30. Press coverage, but with the secondary, and Cam Newton gets hit, but completes the pass to McCaffrey, hit immediately by Collins, and gets 6.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where you look at Christian McCaffrey out there in the flat, Jamie Collins on the tackle right there. That's what you want to be able to do. You want to get the ball in 22's hands as often as possible.
The reason why you crack on a guy like Myles Garrett, you see right here, you get the inside rush. They chip him last play. This time he goes inside. That's what that defense is about, negative plays for the Browns.
3rd down and 9. Newton has time, goes underneath to McCaffrey, racing for first down yardage. He has it inside the 5-yard line and knocked out of bounds. So Joe Schobert missed a tackle for the Browns. They missed a few already, and the Panthers get 20. It'll be 1st and goal.
If the Panthers have it their way, what they're going to do is play a little basketball, a little one-on-one. Christian McCaffrey either coming out to the outside out of the tackle or coming inside release where he can face up a linebacker. There's no linebacker in the NFL that can guard him one-on-one.
Pretty impressive first drive by Carolina. McCaffrey, of course, the centerpiece. Now 83 catches, leading the running backs. 1st and goal at the 4. Cam Newton to the corner, dropped. Unable to make the play is DJ Moore. Not sure whether it was dropped or whether he could not get there. And so it is the first incompletion thrown by Cam Newton, and it will bring up 2nd and goal.
DJ Moore's had a very good rookie season. He's going to try to run a pivot route where he's got one-on-one on the outside. He's going to go inside, jab him in. You can see as a young receiver, Carey's able to get 2 hands around him, able to slow him up, so he wasn't able to come in and out of that break. Cam couldn't anticipate the throw. That's why they were a little off on that.
Highest goal-to-go offense in the league of the Panthers. They face 2nd and goal. And running around is DJ Moore out there, and an easy handoff touchdown for Christian McCaffrey. So Christian McCaffrey, with his 12th touchdown of the year, both as a runner and as a receiver, goes over from 4 yards out. An impressive first drive by the Panthers, who need this game badly.
Watch this, Turner coming around here on the pull, and this is just old power football. Block down, great adjustment by the left guard. Van Roten, and McCaffrey follows the blocker into the end zone. Beautifully executed by the Panthers.
And the new kicker is Chandler Catanzaro, with Graham Gano inactive with a knee injury. Catanzaro, last kick for Tampa Bay, and this kick is good. And the Panthers on the opening drive take a 7-0 lead. Who else but McCaffrey as a receiver and a runner leading the way for the Panthers. And Christian McCaffrey, who figured in 7 of the 10 plays in the scoring drive, putting the Panthers in front. 11 touchdowns in the last 7 games, and that's the most in the league since week 8. What a weapon he's become, along with Cam Newton, for this Carolina Panther team looking to go 7-6.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the only people I've ever talked to that said, listen, this was my goal. I want to be part of that 1,000 club.
No. People might every once in a while mention, you know, soft. So people, if I do that, I'm going to get criticized if I don't make it. What a goal.
And the Browns will start out at the 25-yard line, and Baker Mayfield, who rebounded from a very tough first half in Houston last week through 3 interceptions, but look what he's done so far, and there's no question that he has blossomed in the 3 weeks since the coaching change was made. Greg Williams taking over for Hugh Jackson here.
He has whatever it is, and I mean, I wish I could bottle it and sell it because I'd be a multi-gazillionaire, but whatever it is, he has it. The unquestioned leader of this football team.
Browns start out with 3 tight ends. Play action on first down for Baker Mayfield, and he's going to go deep, and he's got a receiver downfield, and he's got it. Rashad Perriman, and Perriman is tackled at the 9. Don't waste any time. Baker Mayfield strikes back, and a big gain downfield of 66 yards.
When the Baltimore Ravens, when they drafted Rashad Perriman, this is what they thought. Freddie Kitchens told us, a lot of these coaches don't always tell us the truth. Hey, see, we're taking a shot on them down the field. Stink and I looked at each other and said, we don't know if coach is telling the truth. Freddie Kitchens told us, for them to be successful in this game, the wide receivers got to make big plays. They're looking for 5 plays of over 20 yards.
And it'll be first and goal, and this crowd is buzzed. They're in it, and Nick Chubb, who has been a force as the running back of the team, tackled by Bradbury on first down. It'll be second down and goal, so the Browns have struggled on the opening drive, but right now they're in prime position. It'll be second and goal after the pickup of 3. The ball now at the 7.
You see that play by Chubb right there? That was one in college where he could try to get to the edge. He's learning the NFL. You know, at some point, stick my foot in the ground, get myself positive yardage, and fall forward for 2 or 3. Nice run by Chubb right there.
And he's got a shot at 1,000 yards this year. Uses a blocker, and Mayfield throws it over the end zone or through the goalposts. And a penalty flag down, and our first since the Browns have taken over possession.
Might be a neutral zone infraction. Carolina, they're lined up.
Offside, number 97, defense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Right on the money, CC, Mario Addison. So, penalty against the Panthers. Helping the Browns here, or trying to score in their opening possession and tie the game.
I tell you, they have not given up a sack in the last 3 games, and you can see him right here. He's lined up offsides, crossing that ball, but they haven't given up a sack in their last 3 games. Did you see the time that Baker Mayfield had right there? He held that ball all day long.
Duke Johnson, who came back to practice Friday, was out all week with personal reasons, back in there, and he is a threat. Second down and goal. And the handoff is to the receiver, Jarvis Landry, who scores. We're seeing a lot of that in the league now. And the Browns strike fast. Jarvis Landry on a 3-yard jet sweep.
Now you're going to get everybody. You're going to get this. You're going to get this over here from a blocking standpoint. Look at Batonio out there on little guys. You love it when a big guy gets on a little guy, CC.
People say they're not running the ball in the NFL anymore, but Dick, as you mentioned, they're giving the ball a lot to wide receivers. I haven't seen this much running by wide receivers in the league in the last 20 years. And
Greg Joseph makes the extra point to tie the game, and you're so right. Tell you what, a lot of the Panthers wide receivers had a lot of yards. I think over 400 if you add them up. Tie score at 7. Just about halfway through this first quarter, tied at 7-7. And there is the scoring drive set up by the 66-yard pass to Perriman. But for Landry, his first touchdown as a runner. Would you have liked that role with the Vikings your day?
Well, that's not necessarily my skill set. I'm a little taller, necessarily don't have the quickness as him. I have my limitations as an offensive player. No, I don't like the reverses. Send me down the field, red zone, put me in that end zone. That's where I like to make my money.
And have Mr. Schlereth blocked for you. Barner will down it there for the touchback. Well, the Panthers held serve with the Saints in the NFC South over the first 8 games of the year, 6-2, scoring almost 30 points a game. It's been a different story over the last 4 weeks. Losses against the Steelers, Lions, Seahawks, and Buccaneers. They still have a tough road ahead. 3 games in the division, including 2 with the Saints. And what started it all for the Panthers' downfall was a 52-21 loss with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, an absolute shellacking right there. And one of the things, sometimes it's hard to bounce back. People will see where your weaknesses are and how to attack you. They've shown a game plan, a blueprint, and people have attacked. But it really comes down to -7 in that 4-game losing streak. Excuse me.
Keep going to McCaffrey. This time Chris Smith, former Bengal, is in there and sets him back for a loss of 2.
And speaking with Greg Williams, this is what this defense has got to do. They can't overpower an offensive team, but they got to make a lot of negative plays behind the line of scrimmage on 1st and 2nd down, set this defense up so potentially they can blitz on 3rd. But watch the penetration, especially on 1st down.
I'll tell you, the Panther offensive line has undergone a lot of changes.
They certainly have, and that has been the weakness of this Panthers team here down the stretch.
2nd down and 12. And the pass is going to be caught by DJ Moore. They have a lot of promise for him. He's just about a yard short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
I really like his development as a wide receiver. Great expectations as a 1st-round pick. He was supposed to be the next Steve Smith for this organization. A better wide receiver is a young receiver than Steve Smith. Really has great hands, as you can see right here with the concentration. You're not going to see a tougher catch than that one right there.
That was going to the ground, that ball. 3rd down and 1. And it's going to be McCaffrey. No, it's going to be Cam Newton, and he's going to get the 1st down. He's big enough to get it, as we know, and a pickup of nearly 3 and a 1st down for Carolina.
You know, talking to Norv Turner as we did, amazing when you think about this guy right here and the responsibilities that he has. Every play, it's not just a handoff. He's got to read the defensive end. Then he's got to read the corner coming off the edge. Now he's got to make a play with his feet. Every play, he's got responsibilities that no other quarterback in this league have from a mental perspective.
Got away from a Browns tackler. Cleveland has missed a few tackles so far in the early going. Pass is caught up the middle by Jarius Wright. And Wright gets 6 yards on the play.
I love what Norv Turner's doing right now. He's trying to fill out this defense. The one thing he tried to emphasize to us is Cam's got to be very, very patient. They might give us a lot of zone, even though Greg Williams likes to blitz. So patience is one of the keys for this offense to be effective.
McCaffrey lines up as a receiver, and Cameron Artis-Payne is the running back. Now McCaffrey goes back behind Cam Newton on 2nd down and 4, and they give it to Artis-Payne, and he'll have it up for a 1st down, barely, close to midfield for the Panthers.
They give you so much to look at in the running game. You see Christian McCaffrey motion back from outside into the backfield. Then you see him leaving from left to right. You see the underneath handoff with pullers. I mean, it's complete eye candy in the run game, which makes you play soft on your heels.
Right, and it's also those defenders. What they're doing is trying to affect their eyes so they can pause for just a second to be able to slip someone in behind them.
1st down and 10. And time this time for Newton. And this pass is going to be incomplete, intended for Curtis Samuel. Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle for the Browns, struggling. Jen Hale has more. Jen.
Yeah, Dick, he's standing on the sideline. They just fitted that left arm with a big brace. You might can see it there, stretching from his bicep down to his forearm. His bicep has been bothering him for several weeks now. He actually missed practice on Wednesday, did practice Thursday and Friday, but fighting through the pain, and clearly it's going to persist and be an issue this game.
Yeah, he's second to Myles Garrett, Jen, in sacks. Breakout 2nd season for him. Meanwhile, it'll be 2nd down and 10. for the Panthers, and McCaffrey going nowhere. Will lose a couple of yards as the Browns stuff the play up the middle. Loss of 1 will bring up 3rd down. Collins was the key man there.
Well, this is what happens when you have Christian McCaffrey. You know, you start running games on the inside, pinch Myles Garrett down, loop the linebacker around.
3rd and 11, and here's McCaffrey trying to get free and will come up short. Almost made it. Collins, who's been in a million plays so far, flag has been thrown, and it'll be about a couple of yards shy of the 1st down pending the call.
Little jailbreak screen. Potentially you either have a tight end or a offensive lineman blocking one of the defensive backs in the backfield.
That's going to be Ian Thomas with a block in the back right there.
Illegal block in the back, number 80, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 3rd down.
So the tight end Thomas guilty of the foul. McCaffrey took a shot here, didn't he, guys?
Yeah, McCaffrey catches out here, like you said, the sprint. There you see right there the shot in the back. McCaffrey just so elusive right there. You don't usually get good shots on him, but Jamie Collins right here, boom, right to the jaw.
And coming out of college, people like myself and other people that look at the draft wonder, how big is he? Is he going to be able to avoid contact? In a little over a season and a half, he's proven myself and other people to be wrong. He's far more durable. He's got a bigger body, and you don't see many shots where guys square him up.
Like, he's like water. Like, he's like trying to hit water, you know? I mean, he's just like gelatinous. He's moving around. It's hard to get a shot on him.
3rd down and 21. Playing into the Browns' hands, and the pass thrown underneath, and it's going to be caught by Ian Thomas, but way short of the 1st down. 4th down punting as we check in with Carissa Thompson with a game break.
Thanks, 6. So the Packers trailing 7-0 against the Falcons when Aaron Rodgers connects with Devontae Adams for the 7-yard score. Adams leading 22nd receiving touchdowns since 2017, all tied up at 7.
All right, thank you, Carissa. 4th down, and Michael Pilardi, who spent time with the Browns, and that's Jabril Peppers back deep. Pilardi 2 years ago was on the roster.
I coached him in high school. Well, we had a special teams coach, but he went to St. Thomas Aquinas, the great high school that produces all the NFL players in Fort Lauderdale.
You taught him to kick left-handed, and he's done a good job with that. Couple of great rookies coming up for the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb, 2nd-round pick from Georgia, the rookie from Oklahoma, all coming up.
One of the bright spots, not only Baker Mayfield, but who's talking to him, who's calling the plays. Freddie Kitchen, offensive coordinator, comes from the Bruce Arian School of Thought, teaching, coaching tree. Man, he looks like a dog-pound coach. Former Alabama quarterback.
He's right near the dog pound,
looks the part.
1st and 10 from the 14, and here is Chubb. And Chubb crosses the 15, stopped by Luke Kuechly. Take a look at the Browns offense. Now, keep in mind, in the 3 games prior to last week at Houston, they averaged 28 points a game. That's pretty good.
Yes, the productivity has been there. Jarvis Landry is the key to the wide receiving core. He's kind of mentoring Antonio Callaway, kind of a troubled wide receiver, 4th-round pick. They took a chance on him after being dismissed from the University of Florida. Big plays are the theme for today's game plan.
2nd down and 7, and it's going to be a play action read and a pass to Jarvis Landry for the 1st down. Boy, I tell you, Baker Mayfield, as a flag is down. Penalty marker thrown. 18-yard play. We'll see what the call is.
I think it's going to be
an eligible player downfield prior to the pass, number 75, offense.
Joe Bitonio, the left
5-yard
guard.
penalty.
So that nullifies an 18-yard play. Tough one for the Browns here.
Yeah, anytime you get into play action and that ball takes a little bit longer, Baker Mayfield, you're expecting it out. So you want to go up there and attack the line of scrimmage. And here he is right here. Now watch him. He's going to get up here wanting to attack the line of scrimmage because the play takes a little bit longer than he anticipates. Look, he gets to go get a linebacker.
That reminds me of you, Stink, trying to sneak a donut. You're too big to be sneaking. Big guy like that, the referees can see that.
Yeah, they can see you down there.
Not Stink. Not Stink. Quick one goes out to to Rashad Higgins. And he's brought down in a hurry at the 16. Fumble, ball loose. And the Carolina Panthers get it. Looks like Adams, Mike Adams, who played for the Browns for 5 years, gets the loose ball.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
They'll review it, of course.
First down, Carolina.
Luke Kuechly tackled Higgins.
Man, look at Luke Kuechly. You want to talk about read and recognition and getting down just getting down the line of scrimmage. He sees that pass coming. He sees it's going to be a quick bubble screen, and he just takes off, gets the receiver, knocks the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, Higgins makes a mistake. He's going to his left. You know you got to keep the ball outside, keep it away from those inside defenders. He has the ball in his inside arm. Luke Kuechly talked about he's been playing well, but he's trying to create turnovers to try to help out this offense. Field position to try to give them easy scores.
And that's one of the problems the Panthers have had lately, is that not creating turnovers. They've been ineffective on third down. So maybe the tide is turning back for the Carolina Panthers, who were 6-2 at one time. They have a 1st and 10 on the 17 of the Browns. And here's McCaffrey up the middle. And McCaffrey getting to the 11. Joe Schobert, middle linebacker, making the stop on McCaffrey, who's been active with 3 catches already and 7 rushing plays.
Norv Turner and Scott Turner, Scott, his son, the quarterback coach, have done a brilliant job as far as the first 15 plays. They've run so many different formations. You can see this Cleveland defense somewhat confused.
Scott.
Leo Finn.
And he really relates to Baker Mayfield. And there is Cam Newton, flush from the pocket. And he's going to have to take it himself. Gets close to the first down. Let's see if he edged into it. Collins pushed him out of bounds. Let's see if he got enough. And it appears to be a first down.
That's an improvement just from last week alone. He talked about, hey, I'm playing the best football in my life. And he said, man, I got pie on my face last week.
Yes.
Because of the 4 picks. There's one. Don't force it. Go get what you can with your feet. Go make a play. Nice effort.
He missed the first down, so it's 3rd and short. And here's Cam Newton, and his toss is going to be, let's see if he got in the end zone or knee down to Ian Thomas, and he's down at the 1-yard line. So Thomas couldn't edge his way and get the ball over the plane, and it'll be 4th down.
Really
Ball at the 1. No, he has the first down as a result of that, and so it'll be 1st and goal at the 1 when we start the second quarter. We've completed 1 here in Cleveland, with the Panthers and the Browns all even at 7 apiece. And welcome back to Cleveland. Dick Stockton along with Mark Schlereth and Chris Carter. Glad to have Chris in our booth for this game today, and it's 7-7 as we start the second quarter. Jen Hale down on the sidelines. It'll be a 1st and goal at the 1 for the Panthers, looking to capitalize on the turnover, fumble recovery. And the first back through is Alex Armah, and he's not going to get there. It'll be 2nd and goal, stop at the line of scrimmage.
See, every now and again, you got to give one of the fat guys, you know, the fullback, you got to give him a little bit of taste, like, hey, I want to get everybody involved. Norv Turner's done a great job over the years, but now let's get away from our fullback and get back to run CMC, because
every once in a while you got to give him the ball because it helps him block him.
Yeah.
Marshall Newhouse is an extra offensive lineman for the Panthers, and Larry Ogunjobi, who Jen Hale talked about with his problem with the bicep, is in the lineup as well. 2nd down and goal. And we're going to have a timeout called by the Panthers.
Charge timeout. Carolina, 30-second timeout.
Well, while we have a moment, I want to remind you to get the conversation of sports started with our partner today, Chris Carter, Nick Wright, and Jenna Will. First things first, weekday mornings at 6:30 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Great show you got.
I'm very fortunate. I'm able to work with two of my good friends, Jenna Wolfe there, Nick Wright. Both of them do a tremendous job. Just like you, Dick, you and I have been friends over 30 years. Nick, I mean.
Look at you. You're the man of the people right there.
Oh, well, I'm trying.
And look at you signing autographs down there before the game. That's why the fans showed up. Second goal. Again, the extra offensive lineman. And the handoff to McCaffrey. And did he get it up? Yes, touchdown. Panthers. Christian McCaffrey with his second touchdown of the first half, giving the Panthers the lead. Ruled that he was over the goal line. Another look.
Well, you tell me Christian McCaffrey can't run between the tackles right here. Stick your foot in the ground, let your offensive line clear, put your nose down there, try to reach the ball over. I don't know that he got in. I mean, I don't know that there's a definitive look. Let's look right here. Is the ball cross? Boy, that's close. I think that's too close to overturn it, Chris.
Yeah, Jamie Collins pulled his shoulder into him right at the goal line. You couldn't tell. I don't believe it's enough evidence to be able to overturn it.
Remember, the call on the field was a touchdown.
But like you said, Christian McCaffrey, is he too small? You know, can he run between the tackles? This guy is going to change a lot of people's minds going forward when it comes to the draft.
Question is, can we see the ball? No, he screens us from the ball, so we really can't tell.
But again, right here,
it's a touchdown.
It was called a touchdown.
And it is a touchdown.
It's too close to overturn. Yeah, that looks good to me.
So Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. And the Panthers have taken a 14-7 lead. Penalty flag right at the line of scrimmage. Called against the Browns, or called against the Panthers. Walt Anderson actually pointed
illegal
toward the
formation,
Browns.
number 90 of the defense lined up over the center. Carolina has elected to enforce the 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
So it was against the Browns in the 5-yard penalty. Agba guilty of it. 5-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff, but McCaffrey with 2 touchdowns and the Panthers leading 14-7, and a gift from the quarterback. Well, the Panthers do well. 17 straight wins when they control the turnover battle, and that has been the problem for Ron Rivera's team, especially during the last 4 games. No one better than that man, Luke Kuechly, who made the tackle and forced the fumble by that man, Rashard Higgins. So Browns will start out at the 25. Cleveland Browns. Well, look at this. 23 plays run by the Panthers to only 5 for the Browns, and the ensuing time of possession edge as well.
Yeah, and this is where you want to get this thing figured out right there. You want to get your defense on that sideline, let them make a few adjustments to all the motions and the shifts, and give them a little time to catch their breaths, CC.
Here's Nick Chubb trying to cut inside after going outside, but he couldn't fool K1 short. No gain.
For this Carolina defense, for them to play effective the way they played like the last 6 or 7 years, their defensive tackles have to be able to make plays like this. K1 short, other guys, we talk about the coaching changes. Man, if these guys were playing better, you don't have to make those coaching changes, think.
K1 short, you mentioned it. Poe on the inside.
Yes.
They're the 2 best players when it comes to collapsing the pocket and putting pressure on the quarterback. They've got to play big.
Running back Duke Johnson goes to the top of your picture as possible receiver, and a quick throw and a catch. Looks like Landry pointing to a first down. And let's see where they mark it. Looks like he'll be shy by a yard. 9-yard gain on the pass to Landry, who scored the Browns touchdown earlier.
I thought this was a bad spot here. I thought he went out of bounds before the marker, but he put the ball in his left hand to give him an additional yard. Let's see if they pick it up here where it comes back. to be able to hurt an offense, because that 3rd and 1 is not a gift.
Panthers looking for the big stop here on 3rd and 1, and again Johnson moving out as a receiver. And here is Chubb in a crowd, but look at the second effort. He's going to get the first down. What an effort by Nick Chubb. And he gets the first down for the Browns when it looked like he was stopped behind the line of scrimmage. In time for a game break, here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, Mark Sanchez starting for Washington, his first NFL start in 3 years, not off to a good beginning. It was tipped, but it's still a pick 6 for Curtis Riley, 9 yards on that score, and the Giants are up by a touchdown as they start the 2nd quarter. Dick, Mark, and Chris.
Boys, it's tough when you're going for a division title and trailing the Cowboys and you're up to your 3rd quarterback. 1st and 10. And the pitch to Chubb. Good pursuit by the Panthers. And Chubb barely gets to the line of scrimmage. Flag down. See if there's a hold here. Kuechly was there, not letting Chubb getting any running room. Just as he was about to tell us something, he went back to talk to an official.
Might have a couple flags on this play. Left guard might be holding. I think Slayer had his eyeballs in this, but watch out for Jarvis Landry down the field. You see a little extra between him and the defensive back. That might have drawn a flag also.
There are 2 fouls, 1 by each team. Personal foul, face mask number 78, offense. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 41, defense. Those fouls all set. We'll replay first down.
So is Robinson for the Browns and Captain Munnerlyn for the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, here's Robinson right here playing the left tackle. He's going to get out there on Addison. Now he's just going to reach up and right there grab the top of his face mask. Chris down the field.
They got to call it. Yeah. Captain Munnerlyn, when he's trying to block him, he has his hands up in his chin, his face mount. We tell him, now listen, if you're going to put your hands in my face, I'm going to put my helmet on your knees so we can do this business however you want.
A couple of jousts going on there, huh? On both sides. 1st and 10. Replaying. And here is Chubb. They faked the pass and gave it to Chubb, and Chubb chased down by Kuechly, but a good 7-yard pickup by the Browns. Little deception.
Really
here.
nice play call because they've got blitz coming off at this edge right here. Little fake on the throw. That's a little Statue of Liberty play right there. Hand it out backwards to your running back. Let him pick up some yardage.
The ball skills of a quarterback. I mean, play action, what he does with the football when he's not throwing is very, very important for young players. Baker Mayfield has that ability.
2nd down and 3. Browns on their own 43, and there comes pressure, and they beat it with Chubb. Chubb beats it to a fare thee well. It gets into Panther territory. They came from all sides, and Chubb went up the middle, and as a first down to the 44 of the Panthers, a pickup of 13.
I think you know this. We don't talk about interior offensive play, but the Cleveland Browns with Freddie Kitchen, since this offense has been resurgent, their center, both guards have played at an excellent level.
They certainly have. Moving the pile, moving the pocket right there, running away from the blitzer. I'm inside there, cutting back underneath the blitzer. Eric Reed, wonderful job.
Duke Johnson now is the tailback. They fake to him, and Mayfield under deep pressure. He gets it off to Darren Fells, and Fells gets a yard out of the play, but it could have been worse for the Browns, and another penalty flag is down. See if the Browns were guilty of holding here.
Holding, number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And it's on Greg Robinson, so it's the 2nd penalty against the left tackle Robinson on this drive.
And he struggled. He's got a lot of talent, but he's kind of like a street shooter. And talking to Freddie Kitchen, if he gets off to a good start.
Right. And he's trying to get out here on the edge. And look at him wrap his arms around Thomas Davis.
Little face mask action, huh?
Yeah, face mask at the end right there. But I'll tell you, the most impressive part of this is just Baker Mayfield knowing where his check down is, right? Under pressure, you could have taken a sack. I mean, one thing about him is he has a knowledge and he has a memory of where everybody is. He knows exactly where his outlets are, and if the first read or two are not open, he does not hesitate to find that outlet and get it to him.
Game within a game. That was Love, who's lucky wasn't called for face mask. It'll be a first down and 20, and Duke Johnson. They give it to the tight end, Njoku, on the throw, and Njoku doesn't get much, so it's going to be second down. They're back to the 46-yard line.
One thing that Adam Henry, the wide receiver coach, he requires these wide receivers to be physical in the run game or the quick passing game. Antonio Callaway doesn't block the corner there in cover 2. He comes up, makes a significant play behind the line of scrimmage for the Carolina Panthers.
Nick Chubb gets back in there on second down and 20. Mayfield on the screen to Chubb as a blocker, but Chubb loses his footing and is down. He had Bitonio, the guard, blocking in front, but just couldn't hold on and went down. Gain is 3, however.
Great reaction by Dante Jackson, the cornerback, rookie from LSU, second round. They target him on the first play of the game downtown with the big completion. In that short passing game, cover 2, you can expect these corners to get involved. He makes an excellent play right there.
Rookie from LSU. And Mayfield stepping up. Does he see something deep? He does, and the ball is going to be caught. Touchdown by Jarvis Landry. What a catch, and what a throw.
What a throw by Baker Mayfield. Now, this is what you talk about. Guys like Drew Brees, veterans of the game, they get off their number 1, they get off their number 2. Even though he's under a little bit of duress, he keeps his eyes down the field. So impressive for a young player.
He is so good at climbing the pocket, making room for himself, and then getting the ball down the football. But he lets it rip, man. He ain't afraid. Like, he puts his whole body into it.
He had Callaway around the outside, but I was surprised he catches Jarvis Landry. I didn't know if he was going to be able to see him. And you could see, even though he's a little undersized, man, he can throw the football.
And
plenty
Jarvis
of velocity.
Wow.
So accurate.
And a defender right on him, CC. Eric Reed was right there. That was the longest pass caught by Landry this year, 51 yards, his 3rd touchdown catch. And the Browns using the big play to hang in this game in the first half with the Panthers, who have had the ball so much more than the Browns. Greg Joseph ties the game with the point after, and 14-14. Baker Mayfield with his reaction. Boy, he has added a spark from the moment he took the field against the Jets. You knew things changed for the Cleveland Browns. Well, in downtown Cleveland, they used to have LeBron James out there for everyone to see, but Baker Mayfield, we're putting him up there. He's not up there yet in the real life, but we're putting him up there now. And Mayfield, who last week struggled in the first half, came back in the second half against Houston. It was a little garbage time there, but he managed to throw for a lot of yards. 6 for 6 so far today for 133 yards. So picking up where he left off last week. And Kenyon Barner on the return for Carolina gets buried shy of the 20-yard line by Tanner Vallejo, the former Buffalo Bill. Penalty, another one. Greg Williams disappointed, to say the least. Cam Newton loosening up to get ready for his next turn. This is an overly long conference.
Yes. Seems to me just about on every kick, regardless of what it is, you can call a penalty. But I don't know what the delay here is with the officials.
Things have
I don't know if there's a penalty, but I think the referees just want some of that sunshine. It's about 32 degrees.
Yeah.
That is
probably about 38 in the sun over there.
That's a meeting of the minds right there. Everybody was over there.
A little high, I think 36.
Okay.
The sun.
There are fouls by each team. During the return, holding number 53 of the receiving team. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 35 of the kicking team. By rule, those fouls will all set. Ball will be placed at the dead ball spot, first down.
Well, Whitehead for the unnecessary unnecessary roughness penalty, personal foul. Ben Jacobs for Carolina. So that's what Greg Williams was displeased about, because he would have liked just the penalty against Carolina to set them back. But they're not in great shape anyway right now. They're on the 18. Panthers, 2 touchdowns, one of them coming as a result of a turnover in their first 3 possessions. Have had the ball 10 more times than the Browns. And the pass is going to be caught, first down to DJ Moore, and Moore still on his feet, getting away from trouble. What a run by Moore after the catch. Sensational play by the rookie from Maryland.
Just your classic RPO on this one. Cam Newton's going to read it out. He puts it in there, decides he's going to pull it out and throw it. And the game just starts for DJ Moore when he gets the ball in his hand. Runs a quick slant off the contact there, cover 2. But in traffic, this is what I talked about, him looking like Steve Smith.
And on the reverse, it's Jarius Wright on the flip. And we are seeing those wide receivers gain grounds, and they lead the NFL with over 14 yards rushing. And they see it there again with 5 after the 40-yard play involving DJ Moore.
You talk about DJ Moore, and Ron Rivera told us, hey, think about Devin Hester. When he gets the ball in his hand, he's like a Devin Hester type. And now we're going with tempo here as an offense for Carolina. Get them on their heels. That's what Carolina is saying.
Second down and 5, and Newton up the middle, and the catch by Ian Thomas. Time for a game break. Kurt Menefee.
All right, the Baltimore Ravens at Kansas City, down by a touchdown. Not anymore. Kenneth Dixon, 3-yard score. Since then, they've added a field goal, and the Ravens have the lead on the road at the Chiefs. Dick, Mark, and Chris.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. And that Ian Thomas, he's got to shoulder a lot of the receiving role now that Olsen's out.
Cam Newton likes him as a player.
As well he should. And there is an open man. It's going to be Ian Thomas again, and he gets the first down by contact at the 18-yard line of the Browns, getting 12 more yards, and he shows it again.
Yeah, when you got the run game going, now all of a sudden I can come back with the boot game, and I can slide somebody across here, get Cam on the outside. Look at, everybody has lost Charles right there. Nobody can find him. That's just that's an easy pitch and catch. That's like stealing right there. It's too easy, Chris.
Over these next 4 games, watch for Ian Thomas to get a lot of yards after the catch. They like his running ability with the football.
Rookie from Indiana, had 3 catches last week, stepped up for them. And it'll be a first down. And here is McCaffrey. And McCaffrey getting almost to the 10-yard line before Brian Price brings him down. He got 5 on that play.
I like this. They put McCaffrey at fullback. They run a little inside zone, have him coming from the other way. I'm very impressed with Norv, the different play selection, formation selection. If I'm a Cleveland Browns defender, I don't know what they're going to do next.
And movement like Chris Clark.
False start, number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
5-yard penalty against Clark, the left tackle.
Yeah, well, anytime, you're right here. Anytime you've got to go against Garrett, you've got to go against some of the rushers that they have there. You're gonna Zettel right there. You're gonna have a few of the jumps. The thing about Chris Clark is he was called week 2 on a Wednesday, practiced the week, and then started and played every snap. So he's a guy that they brought in to play left tackle.
It's that easy, huh?
No, it's not easy.
Second down and 10, giving ground, and Ball bouncing in front of Thomas. Incomplete. Nothing there for Cam Newton, obviously, and he did the right thing.
A great job by Cam there, realizing he didn't have anything. They tried to run the double screen, faking to McCaffrey to the left, trying to get the tight end to the right. Smart quarterback, realizing I'm in the red zone. Give myself another chance, throw it in the ground, dial it up on third down.
Panthers with the top red zone offense in the league. The first 8 games, dropped off the last 4.
Sometimes you just got to have somebody make a play for you. Have a dude make a play.
Third down and 10 from the 18. And the slant catch tackle. DJ Moore won't get the first down. TJ Carey, the cornerback, makes the stop. Gain of 7. Field goal team coming on, but a good stop for the Browns.
Great job by Greg Williams. What they want to do on fourth down, like a lot of good coordinators, good defensive coaches do, blitz you, force you to throw it hot, come up, rally to the ball, make the tackle, make you kick the field goal or make you punt it. This time, kick the field goal attempt.
So Chandler Catanzaro, who has never missed a kick here in Cleveland, in fact, kicked a 59-yard field goal against these Browns while a member of the Buccaneers earlier in the season. This will be a 30-yarder. Graham Gano inactive today, and he booms this one through, and the Panthers get 3 to take a 17-14 lead, but it was a good stop that time by the Brown defense, and the Panthers hang in and lead. Is great. Finally, Baker Mayfield, the real deal. And of course, these guys have waited a long time to smile in a football game. Winning recipe. Looks like they've got it all there, guys.
Oh, they certainly do. And Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's, pushed the ball down the field. He's made the big plays. We mentioned how accurate he is. What Drew Brees say? Drew Brees said, you know how you become accurate? Know where everybody is on the football field and distribute the ball. Make sure you get your checkdowns thrown.
Dick, you're into good food. Sometimes it takes a good chef, but you need good ingredients.
Oh.
And that's what the Browns have.
There's no question about it. I think their future is bright, but even when you look at some of the other game teams in the division. But how about Mayfield?
Yeah, climbing up the pocket right here. Oh, just on the money, over the shoulder to your receiver. Slide out, buy yourself some time, and there is no defense for the perfect pass, CC.
It's really hard to teach plays off schedule. A lot of bad things, especially happen for young quarterbacks. For him to be able to find the second and third guy. Dick, you talked about what he did in the second half of that Texans game. People might think that's garbage time, but that's quality time for a young player. Positive reinforcement, 350. Now he comes out today red hot, 6 for 6. Man, let's build on this young kid's resume. And the Cleveland Browns fans on the weekend here in town, we've been going around, they're so excited to see the young kid play.
No question, and he stays on his feet. Good protection. No sacks in the last 3+ games. He gets good time there, and the pass is going to be caught by the tight end David Njoku. He goes down deep. Boy, he is not afraid to get it downfield, is he?
No, he's not. And look at all these guys along the line of scrimmage. You know how you keep your quarterback upright, not give up any sacks? Run 2- and 3-man routes, have your quarterback put it on the numbers, and make sure he's protected.
And ever since the staff changes, man, they solidified that pocket. We're not going to let our franchise quarterback get hit in the mouth stink. And hey, that's one thing young quarterbacks don't like to do, and that's get hit. They've reassured that pocket security.
28 yards. They fake the pass, hand off to Chubb, and nothing doing there, thanks to Eric Reed, who comes in from the secondary to make the play.
I'll tell you, you know who Baker reminds me of with all the play fakes and the ball handle? You got to have big hands to handle the ball the way he does. But he reminds me of Brett Favre. Remember Brett Favre, hand one off and then fake like a jump pass and do all that? He's got that kind of body language, the way he climbs the pocket. And one other thing that reminds me of Favre, he is not afraid to just throw it from his toes, man. Just let that ball eat.
Well, we haven't seen Baker Mayfield throw an incompletion yet, guys. And it's 2nd down and 9 in Panther territory. And the pass, well, don't say I jinxed him, please. Pass to Chubb, broken up by Kuechly.
No, that's not your fault. It hit him in the soft spot, right in the middle of his hands. No, that's not your fault, Dick. I mean, you've been at the free throw line. This guy shoot 95%. Oh, Dick's jinxed him. Now, you might have jinxed him, but you didn't jinx this guy right here.
And there's one guy that I wouldn't throw into his area, and that's Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly will diagnose the play, and he will be there before the ball gets there.
I jinx a lot of guys, believe me, especially in the NBA. 3rd down and 9. Duke Johnson checks in. 3rd down back. Here comes the pressure up in Mayfield's face. Good protection. And what a catch by Rashard Higgins. Going up high for it. And 16 yards.
That's going to help make up for that fumble there. Getting them right on the edge of the red zone. Runs a deep curl route. Baker puts the ball away from the defender. What I like here, Rashard Higgins, watch him come back down the passing tree. Watch him keep the ball away from the defender to make sure he can't get in there and poke it out. Big time play. Watch Baker with the throw.
Right.
Over a linebacker, in front of a DB.
The defensive end drops off the ball, creates space. He's got to get it over there to the curl. Beautiful.
2-minute warning. Boy, Landry loves it. The Browns love it. They're a different team. We welcome you back to First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, with the Panthers leading the Browns 17-14. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Been a long while since you've seen smiles on the faces of the fans in the dog pound and everywhere else here at the stadium.
It was great coming to the game today. People out tailgating, selling memorabilia on the streets. Haven't had this type of excitement on the weekends for football here in Cleveland in a long time.
Certainly have, and number 6 is a big reason why.
First down on the 31. Browns have 3 timeouts remaining.
Double pass.
Goes out to Landry. Landry is waiting, and he fires it downfield into the end zone. Knocked away in a terrific defensive play by Dante Jackson. Nick Chubb, the running back, was deep, and Jackson just extended himself and saved the touchdown.
Jarvis Landry gets a little greedy here, trying to go downfield. We saw him run this in practice on Friday. We were expecting this, a double pass. People don't know Jarvis Landry, the lefty from LSU. He was either hoping to get the wide receiver, but in practice you could also see Baker Mayfield was open.
Look at Chubb, though. Chubb goes to play in defense right here. He gets down there, defensive back in perfect position. Chubb makes a play over Dante Jackson.
Handoff is to Duke Johnson. And trying to grab the ball away, as you can tell. And Luke Kuechly went after the ball first, and not much for Johnson. It'll be 3rd down.
Did Freddie Kitchens tell Luke Kuechly what the play was before? Goodness gracious. He got there before the puller could.
I'm telling you what, I'm talking to Steve Russ, linebackers coach, and he said this guy is insatiable in his appetite for information, and he can absorb it all. He'll be out there calling, hey, man, it's a trap, it's a trap. No, watch the sweep, watch the sweep. No, they're coming back. Like when the quarterback checks, Luke Kuechly checks. He is phenomenal, and I'm telling you what, he knows exactly what they're running at all times.
Most tackles for any player in history, first 7 seasons of a career. How's that? 3rd down and 10. Empty backfield. And a drop pass. Higgins giveth and taketh away. He fumbled, made a great catch, and then he drops a wide open pass.
Freddie Kitchens has him set up here in 3rd and long. Baker Mayfield brings his head to the left, even though he knows that he has the wide receiver matched up on Thomas Davis in the slot. Baker sets him up perfectly, comes out, gives a little head placement, fires a heater down the pump seam. Drop, should have been a touchdown.
Oh, should have been. Man, you can't set it up any better than that. Getting a receiver on a linebacker, matched up one-on-one.
Greg Joseph will attempt a 49-yarder right here. And Joseph's kick, and the kick is good. Greg Joseph, who has just 2 misses. Rookie from Florida Atlantic University, salvages something for the Browns, who look like they might be going in for the touchdown. But it's Higgins who's done, well, he cost them with a turnover, made a great catch here, and then he drops what might have been a touchdown pass, but the Browns get 3. And we're all tied at 17. Davis, the linchpin of this defensive team, and company looking things over. Don't want to leave out Julius Peppers, of course. That's Greg Joseph, who's 49-yard field goal tied the game moments ago. And out of the end zone. And we'll be right back after this message from State Farm. And the Brown fans, you've got to check your phone. Got to see or let them know you're at the game. Cam Newton, let's see what he springs here. 2 timeouts left for Carolina. 59 seconds to go in the first half. Handoff is to Christian McCaffrey, and he'll get about 2 thanks to Joe Schobert. Interesting to see what North Turner has in mind now with the clock running down to a half a minute still with a couple of timeouts to go, and going downfield, and the pass is caught to the 45-yard line by Curtis Samuel. He gets 18, and a timeout is called.
This is the second charge timeout.
And right now, let's check in with
Carolina,
Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs look to clinch a playoff berth as they host the Ravens. The Colts battle the Texans down in Houston, and the Patriots try to wrap up the AFC East title against the Dolphins. Be sure to join us. You never know who's going to drop on by.
Especially those tall Cletus guys. Right.
You should get Cletus to run down on kickoff.
Yeah.
He'd be a menace.
I don't know how good he's going to be in this 36.
You think he may be like Tin Man? Need a little oil?
Righty rake.
Some oil to me.
From the 46, first down. Trying to get at least into field goal range, but time is the big factor here. And Cam Newton in traffic. Ball is loose. Fight for the loose ball. And the question will always be, was he in the act of passing? And let's see.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Browns. Finally, it was Myles Garrett. We haven't mentioned his name yet today, guys. He put the pressure on Cam Newton.
Please reset the game clock to 16
And of course, they'll
seconds.
review it as well. Emmanuel Ogbah recovered it for the Browns.
Well, Myles Garrett coming up. Watch the jump he gets right here. Now he goes to one-arm bull. Look at him shove Clark into the back of Cam Newton, creating the fumble. And he said, it's not enough anymore just to get sacks. I need to get strip sack fumbles. I need to make plays happen.
Yeah, that's
there
a
it
fumble.
is, on the hand.
That's a fumble.
That get off stink. In watching film with you, you talked about, hey, as a pass protector, hey, Chris, them first couple steps, I was like, oh, that's something I never really looked at. But you talk about what an advantage and how special he is, like Bruce Smith and other greats.
Right. As a player, I used to get sideline copy and said, let me see the first guy off the ball, because the first guy off the ball is your best
Ruling
player.
on the field of a fumble and recovery is under further review.
I'll tell you this, you watch him, he'll get a step on the ground before other guys get their hand off the ground. That's how quick. And talking to Greg Williams, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, man, he told us both. He's like, there are guys like Aaron Donald has that, Myles Garrett has that. There are guys that just have this innate nature to be able to do that. They don't look at the ball, they just understand it.
Coming into the game tied for 4th with 11.5 sacks, 4 behind Aaron Donald. He had 7 as a rookie, but you're right. Greg Williams wants more strip sacks and maybe doing what the coach wants here.
I talked to his position coach, and I'm very, very fortunate. His position coach is a guy named Clyde Simmons, guy I played my first 3 years in the league with there in Philadelphia. And Clyde was an outstanding rusher. One of the silent on that great Philadelphia East defense that included Jerome Brown, my great roommate who passed away, and also the great Reggie White, another great man who we lost.
Yeah.
And so Clyde, he's had great perspective on great rushers. He believes the one he's got is going to be special.
Yeah. I played against those defenses.
Ooh.
Let me tell you what. Well, you almost needed a smoke bomb to get me out of the locker room to go play against those guys. My knees were shaking. They were knocking a little bit, CC.
I once saw those 4 guys sack Aikman 12 times in a game.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback had control of the ball and pushed it forward, which makes it an incomplete pass. Be second down at the 40.
Brown fans can't understand it. I originally thought it was a fumble. I don't know what you guys thought.
I mean, it looked like a fumble, but you could see right there on the instant replay at the end, Cam did one of those Tom Brady things where he makes it hard on the referee because you could see his hand extend, his fingers go out to simulate a pass.
Dean Blandino, let's see what you think, Dean. They call it an incomplete pass. You got the hand out there.
That's the key. It's the hand coming forward with control. And even though this isn't a conventional throwing motion, he does kind of push that ball forward. The hand does come slightly forward. So by rule, this is a forward pass. It's close, but I agree with the overturn.
Okay.
All right, Dean. I just disagree with the rule, but you can agree with the overturn. I disagree with the rule. It's too hard to get those kind of pressures on a quarterback and not to get your sack. Now he went from 11.5 to 12.5, right back down to 11.5 sacks for Myles Garrett.
So the Panthers retain the ball, under a half a minute to go, and going to the air and completing to Jarius Wright. And the clock running down to 18 seconds. One timeout left for the Panthers, and they can still make a play to get into field goal range. And here's the pass, and it is knocked down, incomplete with 5 seconds to go. They looked a little casual there, not calling a timeout to set up a play that could get him into field goal range.
Oh, I thought they made a mistake there. When Cam completes it and the wide receiver doesn't get out of bounds, you're already at midfield. You have to be able to take the timeout, be able to conserve, because you have a quarterback that can reach the end zone. We've seen this before. Yes. Substitution in for Cam for the Hail Mary because he's got the bad shoulder.
We got Rick.
Taylor Heineke is in the game now. He played in the last play.
He's got a big-time arm. I was watching him throw before the game.
Here comes the big-time arm, and the pass is going to be caught to no avail as Curtis Samuel makes the grab, and time runs out. A weird finish to this first half. And the DirecTV play in the first half was the touchdown. Look at this throw by Mayfield and this catch by Landry. What a play. We're all tied at 17. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report with Kirk, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony. And that all starts right now.
You know how you do.
By Progressive, tied at 17-17 as we get ready to play the second half of this game. Dick along with Stink and CC. That's who we are today in our booth. And so the Browns get the ball first in the second half.
Well, if I'm Carolina, I've dominated the first half time of possession. I'm trying to force my will onto the Cleveland Browns. But what I'm concerned about is, even though I've had the ball 20 minutes, my defense only been on the field for 11 minutes, but they've given up 17 points. That would be a concern as I get ready for the second half.
Yeah, and it comes down to all the big plays in the first half, and that's exactly what you're talking about. On both sides of the football, Cam Newton staying in the pocket, delivering a dime across the field on the over. Here you go, breaking tackles. That's more on the outside, making a big play. That's what this game has been all about. And then on the flip side, look at our guy, Baker Mayfield, climb the pocket and drop a dime right there. Now he slides, gives himself a little time, and there is no defense for the perfect throw. That is beautiful to Landry, right between the 8 and the 0.
There are the first half numbers. Imagine the Browns, 10.4 yards per play. That's because of the great big pass plays by Baker Mayfield, who's completed 8 of 10 for 176. Cam Newton thrown double, 15 of 20, thrown 10 more passes than Mayfield, and has only 8 more yards. The new man, Chandler Catanzaro, will kick it off.
pooch kick.
It's going to be a pooch kick, and the Browns are going to get it. And not bad to step out of bounds when you're on about the 35-yard line. Tanner Vallejo sent it down to Jen Hale.
Well, Greg Williams tells me for this Cleveland defense, Larry Ogunjobi was on a pitch count that first half because they wanted to save him for this second half to combat that Carolina offense. Meanwhile, as far as Baker Mayfield goes, Williams told him at halftime, stay aggressive. If we start settling for field goals, we will lose this game because the Panthers are playing aggressively as well. And Ron Rivera, he told me he thinks that the communication between him and defensive coordinator Eric Washington working pretty well. The holes he sees, the problems in the secondary. He says he's got to see more from that unit in order to shut down this aggressive Browns attack.
And we knew that going in, didn't we? Secondary was going to be the issue. First down at the 35. Play fake, and the pass is going to be caught by.
Put it away.
Landry. Jarvis Landry. And the ball's knocked out, and the Panthers get it back. Kuechly forced the fumble for the second time in the game.
Fumble recovered by the defense.
Linebacker mate Thomas Davis recovers. Boy, those guys have been at it for a lot of years, boy, haven't they?
And look at Luke Kuechly just down the sideline. I mean, now I want to watch him just read this and just take off once he sees that underneath little flow by the receiver Landry, taps the ball out as he tackles him, tosses it to the ground, and there's Thomas Davis.
Another Browns wide receiver with the ball in the wrong arm. He tries to cut back inside, puts the ball on his left. It should always stay on the outside away from the defender.
Landry was careless with the ball without question. And now the Panthers with a great opportunity from the 32, and they flip it to McCaffrey, and coming in is Myles Garrett. Garrett making his presence felt toward the end of the first half, and so far here, 9 and 8-yard loss here.
Well, listen, when you're asking your receivers to come in here and make a block, I mean, I know Moore is a big guy and he's got some strength, but you got to have a little bit more passion than that.
Carolina's tried to start the game with the same type of theme. Not a wide receiver, but a tight end cracking on Myles. Now trying to do it with the wide receiver. Neither one of them very effective.
Moving backward now to the 40. Second down and 18. Cam Newton flushed. Going to run with it. And gets stopped by Schobert after Cam Newton gets 5 yards, coming into the game with 91 rushing attempts on the season.
This is hard right here. Cam Newton misses a hot to his left. Now, he might have gotten flushed out so quick, but he had McCaffrey, if he wanted, for a big gainer off the left side.
Yeah, he certainly did, but I'm telling you, Myles Garrett came off the edge so fast, he was tossing people into Cam Newton's vision, so he just took off. He didn't hit McCaffrey on the outside.
Panthers trying to take advantage of the second turnover by the Browns. They did the first time around and scored a touchdown. But now it's third down and 13. Pressure on Newton, and the pass to no one in particular. Closest was Devin Funchess, and it'll be fourth down.
They had a wide receiver read on this one. If they get cover 2 or cloud, they're going to throw to the outside guy. If they don't get that, if they get a softer coverage, they're going to throw the pump seam. The wide receiver Funchess is not on the same page with Cam, has a potential touchdown right here, but does not read it the same way. Everyone has to be on the same page. Cam Newton playing at a higher level than his wide receiver right there.
Yeah, and that's one. He never puts his head around. I mean, you're right there. He's just trying to get him a hot throw.
Chandler Catanzaro, 53-yard attempt, connected on his first field goal from 30. And a flag is down. Greg Williams is saying there's a delay of game call there. If you read lips.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
I can, and they called it. 5-yard penalty. So now it's a 58-yard field goal try, and they're not going to go that way. Michael Pilardi will come in and kick. So that's what that penalty did.
Big penalty there. Mental mistake right there. You got to get that play in and get the attempt up there.
Took him out of a chance for 3 and the lead. So now Pilardi, just been one punt in the first half by that man. And now kicking again. Jabril Peppers is inside the 10. So you know he wants to just keep it in the field of play, and he seems to do it. Fair catch by Peppers at the 11-yard line. He does his job, but it could have been better for the Carolina Panthers, and now they have to separate some of the players. Tempers flare even when it's in the low 30s. Good matchup here in Ohio between Mayfield and Newton and the rest of the cast of characters. They've all delivered today. Back here in Cleveland, and look what that man has done with this franchise. Baker Mayfield staying in the jacket as long as he could, and they say, Baker, you got to get out there now. Can't wear that jacket.
It's like a Superman change right there, coming out of the phone booth, right from Clark Kent to Baker Mayfield.
Looks a lot like me trying to stay warm.
He's got big ass on his chest. First down on the 11. Nick Chubb, no gain. I tell you, the Cleveland Browns offense has come alive this year, and of course, Norv Turner had been with the Browns back in 2013, and the Browns offense clicking.
On the other side, Cam Newton with Norv Turner and Scott Turner. Freddie Kitchens, the offensive coordinator for the Browns. His connection to Baker Mayfield, since they made the offensive changes, very innovative, but he's connected to Baker. Baker believes in what he's calling, and you need that to get that type of productivity, Mark.
Second down and 10. Mayfield scrambling. Out of bounds. Landry, the intended receiver, now third down and 10. Mayfield has some words for people.
You talked about productivity of Baker Mayfield and this offense in general, and one of the things is they have eliminated some of the voices, right? They made some firings. Now there's one voice, and it's Freddie Kitchens, the offensive coordinator. One voice getting everybody on the same page, and it's really paid dividends, not only in protection, but in productivity in the passing game.
What they've done has worked. They beat Atlanta and Cincinnati in the 2 games before the Houston loss, but Mayfield's not going to get away from Captain Munnerlyn, who gets in there first, and it'll be fourth down, and now they're on the 5. A loss of 6 yards on the play, and now the Panthers are looking at good field position.
Good job by Carolina. We're going to give them a little zone blitz off the slot, be able to squeeze the pocket for Baker. Last time it was 3rd and long, we saw down the red zone, they didn't blitz him. He isolated Thomas Davis, even though the receiver wasn't able to come up with the catch. Different change of pace this second half by Carolina, going to be a little more aggressive.
Mayfield had not been sacked in 3 games and the first half until now, so it's been a long string. But there is Britton Colquitt at the back of the end zone. Kenyon Barner, fair catch, and it is good field position for the Panthers as they will begin this series from their own 46-yard line. And so Cam and Christian get it done to try to break this tie for the Panthers here in the 3rd quarter in Cleveland. Those are the Panther offensive leaders. They have a first down on their 46. What do you think, guys?
Well, I think anytime you get into this field position on a sudden change or a punt like this, most offensive coordinators, and Norv is this way, can we take a shot? Can we go from check down to touchdown right off the bat?
Got it.
And they're going to keep it in the hands of Cam Newton.
Browns were anticipating the big play. They must have heard you, Mark. They were in cover 1 before the snap, went to something a little more soft, cover 2, dropping 2 safeties deep, bringing the cornerbacks up in the into the flat to be able to take away that big play potential.
You're right.
And they thought perhaps Newton might get some good yardage. Instead, 2-yard picked up, 2nd and 8. Broken up, intended for Wright, and it was Jernard Avery with a good play. Game break time. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. Packers up 20-7. Opening drive of the second half. Aaron Rodgers to Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers now has 359 pass attempts without an interception. Packers up big, 27-7. Dick?
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. So 3rd and 8, and they're going to squander good field position if they don't convert here.
Just like the last time they had the good turnover, didn't take advantage of that. You have to be able to capitalize on these limited opportunities as the Carolina Panthers offense.
And Cam Newton's pass will be caught, and diving hopefully for the first down is Ian Thomas, and no official sign yet. Very close. Looks like he has it. First down for Carolina. Just made it.
One-on-one coverage too. You got Myles Garrett out there trying to cover Thomas, the tight end, on the all-out blitz. They brought two extra guys from the inside linebacker position. So you're one-on-one on the outside with a defensive end. Cam recognizes it, makes a nice throw.
Cleveland is challenging the ruling on the field of a first down.
Greg Williams throws the red flag, and why not? It was very close. They didn't get it. It would be fourth down, so it would be a big challenge here. Did Thomas make it? We're going to take a look. The ruling on the field was reversed. Not a first down. It is 4th and 1, and the Panthers are on the field to try to go for it. This is why they reversed it. Watch the left foot of Thomas. Steps out of bounds before they get to the sticks. But the Panthers will go for it. The ball at the 45 of the Browns, and they have the extra offensive lineman in Marshall Newhouse.
Number 71.
Got to be careful in short yardage situations. The field's in good condition, but sometimes offensive linemen, they can't get that type of normal get off that they get, crowd noise. So watch for the interior pressure of the Browns trying to make a play in the backfield.
Hey, I got number 1. He's 6'5", 260. I trust him.
Play pass.
First down, Thomas. And they get it anyway with Thomas. And it's on the 36 now, and a first down and a penalty flag down going down late. Late flag down. It appears that the penalty was after the play.
I think they're going to call that on Thomas, who extended the ball out like first down and then kind of flipped it up, and it landed in a Cleveland Brown. That's Vallejo in his hands, it looks like.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct number 80 of the offense. The foul occurred after the line of game was made. It will be 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's a taunting play.
Typically what happens is, yeah, you can get called for taunting if you spike the ball or you celebrate and you do something where the ball happens to hit the player involved or the player close by. You can't put the ball in their face. You can't spike it next to them. I've had this called on me before. Like, well, you definitely can't drop it into his hands.
Right.
So taunting called against Thomas. So the 9-yard reception to the 36-yard line. Then they lose 15, and they're back in their own territory on the 49. How costly was that for the Panthers, who were marching? Remember, they started with good field position. It is a first down, and Cam Newton's going to throw, and it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by T.J. Carey.
That one's coming back,
Another flag is coming down.
That one's coming back.
Yeah.
Second flag is thrown.
Good coverage, but at the top of the route, Carey's holding on to the wide receiver. You're not able to get any separation. Then Cam Newton's
holding number 38 defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The only reason why he gets called for this is because Cam throws the ball. And if you have contact when the ball's in the air, as you can see, he has a slant on right here. He has 2 hands around the outside, but once the ball's in the air, you got to be able to let a guy go. Has a good initial jam.
But you can't get your hands outside. When you're outside, we talk about this with offensive tackles all the time, tight ends. You get your hands outside the body frame, it is so easy for the officials to see where your hands are. You keep them inside, right there on the numbers, then they can't see that. That just looks like a jam, not a hold.
Right.
And a first down, 10th penalty of the game. on the 46 now of the Browns. Here is Cam Newton. He's got an open receiver, and it's Ian Thomas again, and he's got a first down, and he gets to the 30-yard line of Cleveland. Ian Thomas playing a major role in this game as the tight end, and they're using him a lot. That's his 8th catch of this one.
Yeah, you're going to miss some things with Greg Olsen, but you're also going to get some things with some youth. Watch how many yards after the catch they get with him these last 4 games, with him being the primary tight end and the primary target. I
love the way he just found that soft spot in the zone, right? Just curled up, sat down, said, here I am, I'm a big target. Cam finds him, rest is history.
4th-round draft pick out of Indiana, and they're going to give it to McCaffrey. McCaffrey breaks out of the pack, has a first down inside the 10-yard line. And it was Taylor Moton, the right tackle, who sprung him and helped get McCaffrey 25 yards, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Panthers.
Tremendous job by that offensive line. Block down, block down, block down. Watch the pull and the kick out.
That's like old Washington Redskins counter Trey right there.
Hey, man,
right
stop
guard,
hitting me.
right tackle.
Hey, man, stop pushing me.
Right, everybody going down.
What a show this Christian McCaffrey puts on almost every week. And he's not done yet as he gets down to the 3-yard line with the run. What did Ron Rivera said? He's an old pro. He's an old pro when he came to this team.
This staff, they brag about him. He has a pre-practice routine. He has a post-practice routine. He's an old soul. Man, his parents did a good job with him. I know you know them since he was a kid, right?
Yeah, I've known him since he was born, man. Went to the hospital to visit the kid.
2nd down and goal, and there he goes for the touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with the hat trick. A flag is down, however, so let's hold this.
Number 72.
And it's going to nullify the touchdown.
Still 2nd and goal.
Taylor Moton called for holding, so erase the touchdown by McCaffrey.
That's one of those holding calls. If you're Moton, you're just like, really? Because my running back is so elusive. He went 4 holes outside where he was supposed to go because he saw great vision. You're trying to block this down right here. Christian McCaffrey, here, is going to bounce all the way back to the outside. That ball is scheduled to go in the middle of the football field, but it doesn't because of Christian McCaffrey looking to bounce all the way to the outside, and it creates the holding call.
So now 2nd and goal on the 13. They got also close and seemingly had the touchdown call back. And here's Cam Newton. Low throw, incomplete. Intended for DJ Moore. So 3rd down and goal upcoming.
3rd down.
It's hard to overcome the number of penalties they had on this drive. Maybe 1 penalty in the drive you can overcome. You can't overcome 3. I thought the ball hit the ground here, as you could see. Typically when you have those low passes like that, you got to get your palms up under the football and try to scoop it into your midsection. Tough to be able to catch that one.
That's the way I always did it in the league.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime I needed tips, I used to come across, go to Broken Town where Dick lives.
Flag is down. 3rd down is goal. And Cam Newton is going to be dragged out of bounds pending the call by Ogba. Thank you for giving credit where credit is due, CC.
He's the great mentor. Well, you need broadcasting tips, you need O-line tips, receiving tips.
Motion, number 1 of the offense. 5-yard penalty.
It's self-destructing.
Still 3rd down.
On this drive.
That actually pails him out because they still have another chance to go to the end zone. He was going up to change the play. Did you see this? Watch, he's walking up to change the play, Cam Newton. How about that athleticism right there? You're getting a ball that you don't even expect to come your way. Then you just take off and try to make a play happen.
Miscommunication with Cam. He's trying to get them into a better play. Ryan Khalil, the center. The snap count, because they had called the play, he couldn't change it. Miscommunication with him. That's why they called Sam. That's why they call legal procedure on Cam.
So it's 3rd down and goal at the 18. No one knows what broken sound is. But anyway, 3rd and down and goal.
Wide receivers, if you're in South Florida, need some help running routes, Dick Stockton's available.
All right, and they're going to hand off to McCaffrey, and he'll be stopped at the 18 by Jamie Collins. And the field goal team will come on, and Panthers in position to take the lead, but they had good field position, and you're right. Penalties really upended them here.
I tell you what, I'm not a big fan of that play. I mean, you got Cam Newton. He's having the best season he's ever had. He's completing almost 70% of his passes. I want to push one down to the end zone.
Ace, think I got to disagree with you, especially coming off the big interceptions last week. You know Greg Williams going to play zone. It's going to be like 7-8 defenders back there. Let's get these 3 points and move on.
34-yard try by Catanzaro, and the kick is good, and the Panthers regain the lead by a score of 20-17. 20-17. Greg Williams has been animated today. Cam Newton leading his team to more points. And we welcome you back to First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland. And a beautiful day, sunshiny day, temperatures above the 30s. Fans came prepared as they always do. They got a great history. This franchise history goes back to the Paul Brown, who was the founder of this team.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with the Browns, their history. My grandfather was a Browns fan. Anytime you could get some football on TV, and if he wasn't watching the Buckeyes, man, he was watching the Browns.
And it's a great thing to see the Browns come back to relevance. And there are Browns fans all over the country. And for more about Browns Nation, here's Jen Hale.
Dick, they are a loyal fan base, that's for sure. We want to welcome Armando and his son Johnny here to Cleveland. It is their first time ever to see their beloved Browns play in person. They're from Southern California, never been to Cleveland, never grew up in Ohio. They chose to be Browns fans just because they love the history and the traditions. So therefore, a blogging group, Angry Browns Fans, heard that, decided to surprise them, started a GoFundMe account to pay to bring them here today. And you're going to love this. Armando's boss was happy to give him a day off because he's a blue-collar worker who never takes vacation, Dick.
All right, Jen, that's what they've got. That's what this area is made up of, blue-collar workers. And they're outstanding from the 25. Mayfield stepping up, getting away from the pressure. Flag is down. And this pass thrown out of bounds. Penalty marker thrown behind Mayfield.
Holding number 70, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So Kevin Zeitler, right guard, called for holding. Puts him in a hole here.
We got to get this offense for the Cleveland Browns back throwing on rhythm. This last drive, 3 and out. His first play, a hold. Now it's 1st and 20. Football is about rhythm. Defensively, trying to interrupt my rhythm. Offensively, trying to dictate to the defense of what you want to do, which the Cleveland Browns did a great job of the first half.
A1.
Back to the 15, 1st and 20. Pass to the other side, and a great hit made by Dante Jackson on Antonio Callaway. Good play there. Time for a game break. Carissa.
Thanks, Dick. So the Saints looking to get that offense going, trailing 14-3. Drew Brees play action to Zach Line for that 1-yard score. Alvin Kamara's 2-point conversion was good. Still trailing 14-11. Dick.
All right, thank you very much, Carissa. And of course, the Panthers still have 2 games to be played against the Saints the remainder of the season. Going to catch him in the division race. Kuechly waiting to see what Mayfield will have. And the pass up the middle, and it's going to be caught by Jarvis Landry. Another flag is down. Landry, who has a touchdown catch in spectacular fashion with a 16-yard play.
Number 70, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
So Kevin Zeitler called for holding twice here on this series, nullifying a Brown momentum in offense here.
Yeah, and that's one of those where you really feel good about where you're at, but watch him just drive. I mean, this is pile driving, not so much holding. You feel good, you're set up inside there, then you go to drive. You cannot take him to the ground. You got to let him off. You got to pull your hands off him because they call that. It's not really holding, but it's what the ref sees. It looks like you shoved the guy down, and they figure that's just a holding call.
Were you a former offensive lineman?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't holding.
No, that's not.
You'd be a bear hug them.
No, that's dispensing justice. That ain't holding.
You're out there stomach bumping them. Somebody had to call something.
2nd and 27. In the end zone, looks like running for his life. And they're going to call the completion to Dontrell Hilliard. Gets him out of some danger, but not enough yet. 8 yards on that play. And it'll be 3rd down, and they got to healthy amount to go to convert here.
Carolina's doing a better job mixing up coverages. We saw earlier starting the game where Cleveland had the big plays. They were playing cover 1, cover 3. In the second half, they're playing more cover 2, where you got the corners in the flat for support. You saw that on the first down tackle, and you saw that on the last. Good rush, great coverage on the back end.
And they'll give some yardage, but not enough. They need 19 yards to the Browns for the first down. Look how deep the secondary is playing. They bobble Mayfield, the snap. Not going well for the Browns here. Pass is caught by Hilliard, and he is tackled shy of the 30-yard line by Captain Munderland. So that'll be 4th down. And they got out of real danger. They were inside their own 5-yard line. They got 12 here, but the Panthers could be looking at decent field position after the punt.
And it's exactly what you said right there. That's what they call cover 2 sticks, right?
Yes.
Get 2 deep safeties and play the sticks, make them throw it underneath, rally up, make a tackle.
Good job by Baker, not trying to force it down the field. Defense didn't give you anything. You're not going to lose the game by punting.
Colquitt. Barner, fair catch. Didn't turn out all that bad for the Cleveland Browns because the Panthers don't have the great field position. Well, this January on Fox, don't miss the new singing competition where Grammy winners, Emmy winners, and Hall of Famers perform in disguise. Can you figure out who's behind the mask? Nick Cannon hosts The Masked Singer, premiering January 2nd, right here on Fox. He's eligible.
Yeah. You give me the mask, I think I got the HOF. I think Wayne and Fox called me. I mean, they got me working 2 or 3 other jobs.
Can you sing, though? Can you sing?
Yeah. Well, no, that's why you're going to have the mask on.
Can you win a Grammy?
No chance. No chance.
There's a mask of sorts. Panthers with a first down on the 25, leading by 3. They swing it out to Moore, DJ Moore. And he'll be tackled by Jabril Peppers. Kurt Menefee has a game break. Kurt.
Well, Dick, we mentioned on the pregame show that New England had lost 4 of their last 5 at Miami. Look at this. The Dolphins trying to make it 5 of 6. Ryan Tannehill, 23 yards to Bryce Butler, and it's a 28-27 Dolphin lead in the 3rd. Dick, Mark, and Chris.
Dolphins still have playoff hopes going for them. 3-yard pickup on first down.
Hey, Leo fan. Hey. Leo fan.
Cam Newton going to go down. A loss of 2. Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett showing why he's as good as he is and is the feature of this defense. That's the first sack of the game by the Browns.
Just watch this get off. He is off the ball. He's a step and a half in the line of scrimmage before anybody else gets their hand off the dirt. Beats the left tackle like a drum. Look at this. Arm under. Look at how tight he turns that hoop getting to Cam Newton. That you can't do it better than that. That's like the Hall of Famer, CC, that I watched growing up.
12.5 sacks now for Garrett on the year, and the pass to the outside, knocked down. Good play made by Carey, and the flag goes down on the pass intended for Moore.
Carey's got good coverage, but he gets a little handsy. You got to believe in your feet. He's in off coverage. He bumps him at the top of the route, but the key is watch his right hand.
Pass interference, number 38, defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
Carey's right hand is going to be on the right hip of the wide receiver. When the back judge or side judge sees the shoulders turn the wide receiver, they're going to call pass interference. Off coverage, going to drive into him. Watch his hand, see his arm when he grabbed his arm. When you grab your arm like that to try to propel yourself, they must call that one.
So that'll be an automatic first down for Carolina.
Now, I've seen more physical pass interferences than that one.
From the 37 now. Newton. Slant attempt was knocked down by T.J. Carey. Comes right back to get his hands on it.
Brown's going to get aggressive. Greg Williams said, okay, enough of that. He has a cat blitz, brings Carey on it. Cam Newton reads it, but is not able to get the ball over the defender's head, trying to get it outside to DJ Moore on the blitz breakup.
Right, we always talk about it too as an offense. Throw it into the blitz because somebody's got to come replace the blitzer. And you're coming up there hell-bent for election. It's hard to make tackles or adjust. So you catch that one. Those are the kind that can go to the house if you can execute it.
On 2nd and 10, Newton's pass is caught by Thomas, and a good tackle in the open field there by Jannard Avery, the rookie from Memphis. 3-yard pickup there. 3rd down coming up.
Good job by Greg Williams here. We're going to go real soft. We're going to drop 8 in the coverage. That is enough. Only going to drop, we're going to rush 3. We're going to come up, rally to the ball, make a tackle, force them into a 3rd and long. Chances of them getting off the field now increases for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Greg Williams doing a great job of mixing things up. Blitzing one, dropping 8 on the next. I mean, constantly keeping the offense off balance right now.
3rd down and 7. Thomas, by the way, has 9 catches in this game.
I got a concussion. Dick just punched me.
And that's why Cam Newton calls a timeout. Wants to make sure you're okay.
This is the first charge timeout.
Timeout called by the Carolina Panthers. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. And we're back after the timeout by the Panthers. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Final minutes of this 3rd quarter. It's been nip and tuck all the way.
Same thing.
Panthers have never trailed in this game. Needing it to get to 7 and 6 and hang in the playoff race. They've dropped 4 in a row. 1 and 5 on the road. That's hurt them. And here's Cam Newton, and he's going to go deep. And originally it was intended for Funchess, and I don't know whether he stopped his route or not, but the pass was well overthrown, and we have yet another penalty.
I think you're getting another holding call.
Holding number 74, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Chris Clark holding, 4th down kick.
Both of these teams are playing better coverage here, realizing, okay, I'm starting to understand their offense, what they're trying to do to me. Playing outside the wide receiver on that one to negate that big play. That's the only throw that Cam had, was to be able to throw it away.
Michael Pilardi will be kicking it away. Newton, by the way, 20 of 30 in this game. 222 yards. No TDs and no picks. Jabril Peppers back for the Browns. Inside the 10. Going to try to get something out of this. And he does. Pretty good getting it out to the 25-yard line. Looked like he was trapped in, but made something out of it. 19-yard return. Well, Baker Mayfield coming out now. The quarterbacks facing each other. They really cut from the same cloth. Both were college transfers. Newton transferring twice before ending up at Auburn. Mayfield heading to Oklahoma, where they would each win the Heisman Trophy and go #1 overall in the draft. To the Panthers and Browns, respectively. Newton won the Rookie of the Year award in 2011, while Mayfield has a good shot at following suit this season. Good comparison between these two guys.
Great comparison, but if you're young and out there, really don't give up on your dreams. You might go somewhere like Cam, Florida, realize, they got a guy named Tebow. Let me go to Blinn, then go to Auburn. Baker goes a couple different transfers, but believe in your talent. Find you a place to cultivate it.
From the 25, Mayfield, and he's completes to Nick Chubb, the running back, who did not go out of bounds, stayed in, but doesn't get much more, and he's at the 32. Bradbury was there.
I love Baker Mayfield just manipulating the pocket, sliding up, find himself a hole, and we talked about this. How do you get great completion percentage? Know where everybody is on the field, right? Throw it to your check down, to your running back, and you know what? Get yourself positive yardage and put yourself in a good position at 2nd down and 3.
I'm really shocked at his overall instincts in the pocket to be able to move up and move back for a young player. You just don't see that.
Both Chubb and Duke Johnson are in the backfield now, and here's Mayfield on 2nd down and 3, and the pass off the hands, incomplete, of the tight end, David Njoku.
What a great play design. Baker Mayfield has 2 guys open. Freddie Kitchens is doing an amazing job. Not only with the quarterback, they run a pump seam to Duke Johnson. but then they get the tight end up the rail. Baker's a little high with the throw, but you got to be able to make that catch right there.
Yeah, you got to go up. You got to extend. I mean, he did, but somehow you got to come down with that, right? You're just asking your guy. Come on, make a play
if it touches your hands in pro football, you're supposed to catch it.
Browns have had a fumble and 2 punts in their 3 possessions, and now look at a 3rd down and 3. More penalties than yards gained, as you saw on the graphic a few moments ago. So 3rd down and 3. Mayfield is going to get sacked. Almost got away from Thomas Davis, but he couldn't, and another penalty is down. And let's see if we have a defensive holding call in the secondary.
Well, Dick, you know the back judge. You've been calling games too long. That back judge throws a flag, probably defensive holding.
Right.
Captain Mutterland in the slot. He's been struggling, especially in change of direction routes. He's a little
well,
grabby.
The quarterback was in the pocket, holding number 41 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Costly against the Panthers with 41 seconds left in the 3rd.
Well, he's right there, and they're going to run a little pivot route, just like you talked about. You saw that earlier down on the end line, right?
Yeah, Stink, I need to call someone to find out. If you're a captain, you get demoted. What is it, lieutenant?
That's above my pay grade. I don't know. Is that what it is?
Okay, because that's a couple holdings on him as a nickelback.
You go from 2 bars to 1.
Okay, one more, and then what does he do?
When do you go to private?
then you're in trouble. That would have been an 8-yard loss, by the way. Worked for the holding call. Nick Chubb, Kuechly. Kuechly right there. And that should be the end of the court. It does look like he knows the plays before they run, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm telling you what, this guy is so smart, so dialed in, and he'll call the plays before they even run him. That one, he cuts underneath the 3 technique.
It's so frustrating. Playing against a guy like that. Ray Lewis, he used to call out our plays. I'd be like, just run it, man. He's already called. He knows what they're going to do.
Yes. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Cleveland, where the Panthers have the lead 20-17. 4th quarter, and Catanzaro's field goal, the only scoring in the 3rd to give the Panthers their 20-17 lead. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Browns on their 37.
Yeah. Hey, pony.
Dick, Stink, CC, and Jen are with you for this game. And on 2nd and 10, the screen pass is to Nick Chubb. Chubb stopped before he gets the 1st down yardage by Thomas Davis. This is where we are in this game here at the stadium. We're having a good time, huh?
Yeah, the defenses are starting to play in the 2nd half, starting to gate some of these offense. We went through a lot of formations, but now the defense is starting to stand out. I expect to see a few more blitzes in this 4th quarter, try to create some pressure to force turnovers.
See what the Browns did right there. They faked the bubble screen over to the left, just dump a screen off to Chubb. Try to get yourself a little bit of rhythm. Try to get yourself back going as an offense because you've struggled here in this 3rd quarter.
3rd down and short.
180. What's that?
They're going to give it to Landry. Jarvis Landry has a 1st down. Landry's still going. Look at those moves. Chased by 6 Panthers and finally tackled at the 4. And you guess who got them? Yes, Luke Kuechly. And a tremendous 51-yard play by Landry, who has 2 touchdowns today.
Very seldom you're going to ever see a play caller in Freddie Kitchens. He uses the play from the goal line they scored on. Now they use it out in the field, get great blocking. Landry is a great open field runner. Part of the emphasis for today was big plays from these wideouts.
Luke Kuechly, you know what? One thing Joe Gibbs told us about playing against Mike Singletary is Mike Singletary never turned and assessed whether he could make a play. He just turned and went and hunted people up. Luke Kuechly saving the touchdown right there.
Let's see if he saved 4 points there.
So again, wide receivers getting yardage on running plays. We're seeing it again. 1st and goal at the 4. And here is Chubb battling for the end zone. Touchdown. He gets over. And the Browns Rams lead for the first time in this game early here in the fourth.
And Luke Kuechly said it about Chubb last night when we met with him. You give him 2 and he falls for 5, right? You hit him at 2, he's going to fall for 5. Here comes Nick Chubb, and he's going to get met right here at 2 by 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys. Keeps his legs turning into the end zone.
When you were watching film earlier in the season, though, he might have ducked outside as an inexperienced, a young running back. Now he's keeping it in tight.
Greg Joseph. Flag is down. A false start. I think was the no, and I like change it to penalty against the Panthers. Dante Jackson. They have been offsides.
No, Dick, you were right.
The penalty was prior to the snap. It's a dead ball foul.
You were right, Dick. They had a little pressure from the outside. The offensive lineman jumped, but the reason why they didn't call legal procedure was because they had a neutral zone infraction, calling it on the outside guy.
Dead ball, foul. Explaining it to Greg Williams. By the way, this is a key extra point right now coming up.
The refs have to be careful over there talking to Greg Williams because he knows all the rules. He's a smart guy. Well, I mean, he told me that too. Anyone knows Greg around the league
Offside,
and everything.
number 26, defense. Cleveland has elected to enforce the 5-yard penalty from the 15-yard line to the 10, and they will retry the kick try from the 10-yard line.
Greg Williams, there are people around the league we know, and people who know him. He's done a great job of being able to corral this team to be able to think about till the end of the season.
Yeah, Greg Williams, he's like, his philosophy, culture will beat strategy any day of the week. I'm creating culture. That's what he's done here with this Browns team.
No question about it, and he himself would like to be considered to be the next head coach of this team. So here is the extra point, 5 yards in, and it's no good. He hit the goalpost. And a critical miss that is for Greg Joseph, because now the Panthers are only down by a field goal, even though it's still early in the fourth. Could have been a 4-point game. This is what led to it all. Watch this great run, move by Landry.
Great open field running.
Browns lead for the first time, but it's 23-20. That's Greg Joseph, who missed his 3rd point after touchdown this year. And a critical one there, and even though he had 5 yards advantage from the initial try. We've only completed, say, 2 minutes of this fourth quarter. But the Browns up for the first time in the game, and the Panthers start from the 25. Let's go back to that sequence on the point after.
Well, that's a dead ball.
Made the kick.
Offside, number 26, defense.
And then the miss by Joseph, but it was a pre-snap penalty, so you couldn't say I accept the penalty and we'll take it on the kickoff.
No, that's the only option that they did have. If it was after the snap, then they had a couple options. Go to the 2 or accept it on the kickoff, accept the points, and then penalize them on the kickoff.
So now from the 25, the Panthers trailing. Cam Newton gets some time, and the pass is thrown off the hands of Curtis Samuel. 2nd down and 10.
Now, this is what I want to see with Cam Newton. We're in the fourth quarter. We know he struggled last week throwing the ball in the coverage. That right there, that ball was not a catchable ball. Too hot. Let me see how he's going to manage. What kind of confidence does he have in this young wide receiver? Because that's all they have is passing. They've given up on the running game.
Second and 10. And the pass is again high for Ian Thomas. Not really catchable for him. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
In Kansas City, Cyrus Jones had a 55-yard punt return for the Ravens. 3 plays later, Lamar Jackson cashes it in. John Brown with a 9-yard score, and look at this. Ravens on top by a touchdown with just over 4 minutes left to go in the game.
Ravens giving the Chiefs all they can handle in Kansas City as well. 3rd down and 10.
Hey, righty Rick. Righty Rick.
Good pass blocking, and this pass to Samuel, and it is incomplete. Looked like he had the ball in his hands. TJ Carey was defending. Good play by Carey. 4th down coming up.
This is one of the things with Cam Newton. He's got great ability, but sometimes he gets a little bit lax in his fundamentals. He doesn't step into this throw. He's got the coverage he wants. He knows he's got the guy on the outside, but watch, he doesn't step into the throw. He steps to his left, so he doesn't get all that throw. Underthrows Curtis Samuel, who is a blazer, got plenty of speed. That underthrow allows Carey to get back into it for the incompletion.
And McCaffrey with a great blitz pickup there, allowing Newton to get rid of the ball, but to no avail. Michael Pilardi and Jabril Peppers. Fair catch. And he's got it at the 37-yard line. So let's see whether the Browns can keep the momentum they have now. They have their first lead of the game, and their offense is coming out again. We've seen some big plays from them today. We'll be right back. Looking at the NFC playoff picture, Saints, of course, with a win, clinch the NFC South. And the Vikings right now are a half a game ahead of the Panthers for the 2nd wild card position in the NFC, and the Vikings play at Seattle tomorrow night. Browns ball, 1st down.
180.
Mayfield gets it out to Orson Charles. First time he's had the ball, and good play by Charles. He's been with several teams, gets 9 yards. Kuechly, who can blitz, tackle you from behind the line of scrimmage, and cover downfield.
Nice little play design. Again, what they do in their last scoring drive, right? They started with a screen. Now it's a tight end screen, little flare to the outside, get your quarterback into rhythm, and then it's Freddie Kitchens. What kind of creativity? Because that's what they've had, the big play offense with Freddie Kitchens.
They certainly have, and it was shown there. 5th in the league, coming in, 2nd down and 1. Nick Chubb, 1st down. He's got more yardage. Going behind a blocker. What a nifty run by Nick Chubb, the rookie. Using his blocking to tremendous advantage into Carolina territory for 29 yards.
That's just getting those big 3 guys inside. Treader, Batonio, Zeitler, letting them lean on people. That's like body blows in boxing right there, right?
Yeah, and Carolina, their strength, their interior, and what has been a weakness for them when they've been given this losing streak, they've given up over 30 points a game. Tackling. Mike Adams, veteran safety. You got Chubb there one-on-one. Negate that right there in that play at a 15-yard gain. Don't let him knock off the rest of those extra yards.
From the 25. And they go back to Chubb, and he's going to be dragged, or check that, Duke Johnson. Johnson is the runner, and he's going to be thrown for a loss, and literally thrown, I might add. Good penetration by Brian Cox on that play.
Great penetration into the backfield. The number one thing that negates the running game is penetration into the backfield. You can see Cox off the right side. That's another one of those kids from St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale, him and Pilardi, that I coach. That's also the son of the great Brian Cox.
Many games against Brian Cox. His forehead was made of concrete and rebar, that guy.
Not in that order.
Son, not too much different.
2nd and 16 after the 6-yard loss. Chubb is back in. See what Mayfield does in a negative situation down in yardage. And all he can do is go out of bounds and get a yard in the play. Chased by Davis. So it'll be 3rd down and forever for the Cleveland Browns. And if nothing else, they want to get deeper into field goal position to at least make it a 6-point game.
This is a big play right here. It's not a given that they have the 3 points. Carolina's probably going to play a little conservative. So Baker's got to be careful with where he delivers this football.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're probably going to, if you bring pressure, you want him to throw it underneath, or you're going to slough off like we talked about with 2 chains, that type of defense. Make him throw it underneath and see if you can break a tackle.
3rd down and 15. Mayfield gets the completion to Njoku, and they get it to the 23. And 4th down coming up, and the field goal try is upcoming, 7-yard gain. So Greg Joseph, who missed an extra point that could have made it a 4-point game earlier, has a chance to give the Browns a 26-20 lead with 9:10 to go. Touchdown would still put the Browns behind, but at least they'd be out of the 3-point situation.
Yeah, it's what we talked about. Ron Rivera taking over the play calling as the head coach, defensive coordinator, plays soft, makes you throw it underneath, rally up, make a tackle, let's get off the field.
Joseph made good on a 49-yard field goal in his previous try. This is from 41 yards out, and the kick is good, and the Browns, who took their first lead early here in this 4th quarter, have added a field goal to make it 26-20. The rookie from Florida Atlantic in Boca Raton, Florida, kicks the field goal. Give it there. Yeah. Following the fumble and 2 punts, a couple of 3-and-outs, the Browns have been impressive in the last 2 drives, getting a touchdown and a field goal to take a 26-20 lead over the Panthers.
They've got big splash plays on both their drives in the running game. One from Landry, one from Chubb.
Joseph's kick sails into the end zone. Well, NFL coverage continues next with America's Game of the Week as Carson Wentz and the Eagles square off against Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys in a huge showdown for first place in the NFC East or other regional action right here on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, the Panthers and Cam Newton trying to get things going. They've had a punt the last 2 times. In fact, other than the field goal, they punted 3 out of 4 possessions here in the second half.
Yeah, and it's time for Christian McCaffrey. In the first half, 13 touches, including 7 on the opening drive. Just 4 touches in this second half. Got to get him involved, especially in the passing game.
Right now.
And they're going to get him involved in the running game first, and he picks up 4 yards on first down. Carolina was down by 7 in the 4th quarter. At Tampa Bay last week when they were upset. This is the way that game ended, in a dud.
Yeah, Cam made bad decisions, forcing the ball into traffic, trying to make big plays. But as we've seen this second half, not only has the running back McCaffrey not been productive, but Cam only 6 completions in that second half.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield has more completions than he does. And here goes the pass out to McCaffrey out on the flat, and he's going to get the first down and more. So Stink, following your recipe there, a pass to McCaffrey and a gain of 12. Kidred, by the way, missed the tackle first.
Yeah, I mean, they lined up. They're dropping guys off here, but that's Cam knowing exactly where Christian McCaffrey is, getting him the opportunities. And then you look at McCaffrey, his ability to stick his foot in the ground and make people miss, man, he is special.
From the 41, Newton in trouble. Dumps it off to McCaffrey, and look at McCaffrey getting about 5 yards when it looked like Cam Newton was trapped behind the line. 4-yard gain on that play.
I always think about what would the opposition want you to do. Oh, for the Browns, they would love for Cam to try to give the ball to anyone else. Throw the ball to the wide receivers. Stay away from number 22. So you do what the defense doesn't want you to do. Give the ball to 22.
2nd and 6. Slant, first down. DJ Moore, forward progress, gives him the first down.
I really like this receiver. Very, very physical. And in Carolina, talking to their wide receiver coach, it's important their wide receivers block outside. DJ Moore, not like a lot of young receivers. He's really, he really dove into that part of the game, trying to make an impact on the game without the ball. Very physical, runs a lot of routes across the middle, which young wide receivers don't like to do.
7 yards on that play. They're at the 48 of Cleveland. McCaffrey for about 1.5 yards. Ogba was right there. Second down.
This drive is doing two things for you right now. One, you're possessing the ball. You're churning out some yardage, right? And you're getting your defense on the sideline, giving them a chance to get a little rest and talk about the missed tackles and talk about the big plays in the running game they've given up to Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns.
Second down and 9. Newton. And a good catch upended as Curtis Samuel by Brian Body Calhoun, the nickelback for the Browns.
Little high throw here. I thought that potentially they could have called the hands to the face on Cam Newton. That might have caused that ball to be a little high there. Didn't call it in the pocket. It's very important third down. Carolina has struggled, especially the second half, 4-13 on third down. This will be the biggest third down of the game.
Well, they got some turnovers converted on one, but ineffective on third down has been a problem lately for Carolina. They need 6 yards here. Third down and 6, and Cam Newton's going to run it, and he's going to get a first down. And finally brought down at the 33-yard line by Body Calhoun. So Newton, always a threat. You got to keep an eye on him, and he delivers to the tune of 11 yards.
And here's the difference in Cam Newton's game. He understands when he was a young player, listen, I've been gifted. The hand of God reached down and touched me, made me 6'5", 260, right? I mean, I've got that kind of talent. But he relies more on his quarterbacking skills. He's matured. He's grown up, man. Proud of the changes he's made in his life and the changes he's made in his game because he's thinking long-term, not just short-term. You
can underscore the word maturity with him, and here's the pass, and it is caught. Beautiful play made by Jarius Wright. Good catch made by Wright.
Now this is the same play that they ran earlier where they had the option of throwing the pump screen. They go to fake the jailbreak screen. Let me check the pump screen. Cam's, he's grown so much as a quarterback, he gets back to the number 3 guy outside and delivers a strike.
24 yards. Panthers with a first and goal. Here is McCaffrey up the middle, and McCaffrey gets to about the 2. Randall was there, and it'll be second and goal. So the Panthers, with under 4 minutes to go here in regulation, leading or trailing 26-20, looking to tie it up and take the lead with a conversion. Talk about the maturity of that quarterback. It's amazing from what we've seen tonight.
Talking to their personnel, we see some things outwardly, but behind the scenes, they're so happy with his overall development, his growth, the things that he does, hospital visits that you don't know about. Cam Newton, man, has really grown as a player.
And here goes the flip to Moore. Moore, maybe a yard, and it was Avery from behind bringing him down. And it brings us to a third down and goal.
Well, they've handed it to the inside to Christian McCaffrey playing fullback. They've handed it to him. They've done that a couple times. This time they used a little option flip to the outside. Obviously, Cleveland doing a great job because that's something they've showed in the past. Cleveland was ready for it.
Yeah, Riverboat Run, I believe they're in 4-down territory, too. You can't depend on that defense if you have to settle for a field goal to stop Cleveland and get back on the field.
Third down and goal from the 3. Newton's pass, incomplete. Curtis Samuel turned around, and it was Terrence Mitchell back after coming back from the broken wrist defending. Fourth down coming up.
I don't like the play selection. Curtis Samuel, he's going to be a good wide receiver, but this is not the type of throw. He's a speed guy. You cannot throw him fade stops. You cannot throw him things where he can't utilize his speed and quickness.
And you've got to turn it to your head. You turn your head to the inside on an outbreaking route. You got to get your head around the opposite way when you're running that flat route.
Fourth and goal right here. Newton fires. Incomplete on fourth down, and the Browns take over on downs. Jarius Wright in the back of the end zone. And this crowd is on its feet. A terrific stop by the Browns defense. and they take over. This was the 4th down play.
You're going to see Jarius right here try to come across the formation. I didn't like the play call. When you lose Greg Olsen, you lose one of your big targets. But where's Devin Funches, the big target on the outside? Or Cam Newton with the option to be able to run. If he can stick that ball on Jarius right, but Jarius is short. You have to throw the ball over the linebacker, so the ball's got to be able to travel in the air. Cam Newton's got to be able to hit him there. He was open enough for Cam to be able to put that ball on him.
Funches hasn't caught a pass today. And the running play on 1st down, Nick Chubb.
This is the second.
We want to welcome our viewers to Cleveland. And the Browns and the Panthers in a big game for Carolina. They've lost 4 in a row. They need a win today, and they need to win on. But Cam Newton's 4th down pass just moments ago incomplete. And a chance to put the Panthers in the lead with a touchdown and a conversion, trailing 26-20, and the Browns taking over with 2:31 to go, trying to get the upset here.
You have 1 timeout left, and you have the 2-minute warning, so you can get this ball back, and you can keep them pinned here without getting a 1st down. You're going to get great field position with enough time to put a drive together and try to score this thing and win.
You'd have a timeout and then the 2-minute warning break as well. Curtis Baker Mayfield's pass, and it is ruled a catch by Bashad Perriman, who caught a 66-yard pass earlier in the game, and a huge 1st down for the Browns to the 15.
What a big play. He catches the first initial play. He hadn't been involved in the action. As I said before, 4 years ago, he's a 1st-round pick out of UCF. Didn't live up to his potential there in Baltimore, but man, the Browns get a gift from Baltimore with him coming over and then them now trying to develop him. Big 1st down for the Browns to keep their drive alive.
Browns trailed until the early moments of this 4th quarter. Took the lead and now trying to use the clock. Nick Chubb, the rookie running back, and brought down nicely by Dante Jackson from behind. And then with 2:17 to go, the Panthers have called their 3rd and final timeout. So they've had to use it on the defensive end of the field.
You got to be able to do it. You got to try to give yourself a chance. Stop it again before the 2-minute warning. You know you got the automatic stop at the 2-minute warning. Hoping you get off the field on 3rd down. You should get the ball back with about 1 minute and 25 seconds to give yourself and Cam Newton a chance to be able to win the game.
Yeah, which is if you can get this stop here without a 1st down, you're going to get good enough field position where that is plenty of time, even without the timeouts for Cam Newton to do that.
And we want to welcome our audience to the finale of this game. The Panthers needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They wouldn't be eliminated with a loss, but it would be their 5th in a row. Browns lead at 26-20. Browns trying to win their 5th game of the year. 2:17 to go, 2nd down and 5, and the pass to Chubb out of the backfield, and Luke Kuechly makes the tackle, and a loss of 1. And Kuechly making the tackle, and we're going to wind down to the 2-minute warning with 3rd down coming up for the Browns. Panthers hope to hold, get the ball back. They have no timeouts remaining in their last-ditch attempt to win the game. Here's our story. McCaffrey with 2 touchdowns for the Panthers. Landry with 2 touchdowns for the Browns. It's been a big play team, and they've come up big in the 2nd half when they've needed to. This is the big, huge play right in here. 3rd down and 6 for the Browns with 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And here's Mayfield running, and he'll be shy of the 1st down. Kyle Love was there to make the stop. Clock continues to run, and the Panthers at least will get another chance with the ball in their hands.
It's all going to be on the shoulders of that guy right there, Cam Newton. See if he can get some completions down the field. We saw on the 2nd down, the last possession where they were in the red zone, DJ Moore got injured. So let's see if he's able to come back. He's their best wide receiver. Their inability to be able to get the ball outside on a regular basis, it's hurt this offense.
Britton Colquitt will punt from around the 10. Kenyon Barner back deep for Carolina. No timeouts left for the Panthers. At the 29, Barner breaks a couple of tackles and finally is set down at the 34-yard line. What a fourth quarter this has been.
Well, here you go. A Landry inside handoff, and watch him stick his foot in the ground. Go ahead, cut it back. Luke Kuechly saves the touchdown right here, but it led to Nick Chubb in the end zone, piling through for the extra 2 yards. But they come down with a missed PAT after a dead ball foul on the offsides. Carolina drives the field, fourth down, put a little air under it. You just missed the throw to right on the outside.
And DJ Moore, who had shaken up, is okay back in the lineup, and first down for Cam Newton, and it's intercepted. Pass is intercepted. Demarius Randall with his 4th interception of the year, and the Browns with their big turnover in control. Came into the game second in the NFL in takeaways, and they get the big one right here.
Big takeaway here, miscommunication. I say 60% of the interceptions in the NFL are the wide receiver's fault or miscommunication between him and the quarterback. They have 2 pump seams going. Funchess is going up the left pump seam. They have a receiver going up the right pump seam. They're in cover 2, and in cover 2, the guy is supposed to go to the middle. Him and Cam aren't in sync. Turnover created by Browns.
And so the Panthers will drop to 1-6 on the road. It's been a big problem for them. More important, 5 straight defeats. And will have a 6-7 record. They were a half a game behind the Vikings, who play Seattle tomorrow for the second and final wild card berth. A huge blow to the Panthers' wild card hopes. Meanwhile, for the Cleveland Browns, they have won now 3 out of 4 and will go to 5-7-1. And when we say they're no longer a pushover, you can see why. The Cleveland Browns defeat the Carolina Panthers by a score of 26-20, and a victory for Baker Mayfield. And right now, we're going to send you to Green Bay for the conclusion of the Falcons-Packers final seconds. Kevin Burkhardt, Charles Davis, and Pam Oliver